Even the army's top brass were kept in the dark. Zongo saluted respectfully and replied simply, "Yes, Mr. President." Traoré handed him a confidential document. "Follow them. Don't ask questions. Just watch. We're about to enter a decisive phase." Zongo nodded firmly. "And if I find something? Don't call me. Come in person. This isn't just politics. This is a battle." That night, Zongo vanished into the darkness. He changed his appearance, used a fake identity, and moved silently. He didn't trust anyone, not even his brothers in arms. He began his mission by observing one of the names on the list, Colonel Dabur, head of the 3rd Infantry Regiment. Dabur had a reputation for integrity, intelligence, and bravery. But something was wrong. Zongo followed him to a secluded residence on the city's edge. No guards. No official vehicles. Just 4 uniformed soldiers meeting behind closed doors. From a nearby rooftop, Zongo captured photos. Through a crack in the window, he recorded fragments of conversation. What he heard shocked him. The president is moving too fast. He's made deals with foreign powers. Funding is drying up. If we don't act soon, we'll lose everything. Another voice responded, "We must act before Independence Day. One single strike. No mistakes. We take him out, stabilize the country, and international support will return." Zongo realized it immediately. This was a coup. He acted fast. Before sunrise, he was back at the palace, silently walking through the halls. He carried all the proof, photos, recordings, names, enough to bring down the republic from the inside. President Ibrahim Traoré was already up, watching the sky lighten. Zongo approached and calmly handed over a file. "It's real, sir. They want to remove you before the ceremonies. They've already chosen your replacement." Traoré showed no emotion. He opened the folder slowly, analyzed each photo, listened to the audio clips like a predator tracking its prey. Then he said, "No panic. We'll beat them to it." He called for a highly confidential meeting, not at the palace, but in an old, decommissioned base on the outskirts of the city. Only 5 people were summoned. No phones. No messages. Even his personal guard didn't know his location. In a dusty room, he laid the evidence out across a rustic table. "These men aren't just rebels," he said. "They're military officials. Some have fought with me. I've broken bread with others. And now they want to stab this nation in the back." A general suggested, "We could move in right now." "Too soon," Traoré replied. "We'd only get the hands. But the head behind all this would escape." Zongo leaned in. "You believe someone else is orchestrating it?" "I'm certain of it," said Traoré. "Dabur isn't capable of designing such an operation. There's a hand behind all this." A heavy silence followed. Traoré looked them in the eyes. "Let them proceed just a bit more. Then we strike." For 5 days, Traoré led a double life. In public, he gave speeches, smiled, appeared at events. Behind the scenes, he redeployed his loyal troops, secured key locations: the airport, radio stations, barracks. Meanwhile, Zongo dug deeper. He saw the plotters meet foreign-looking men late at night. He watched large amounts of money change hands. One of them said, "Once Traoré is out, France will return. Things will go back to normal." Zongo wanted to act. But he remembered the president's words, "Not yet." On the 6th day, the key message came in. The plotters planned to strike on Sunday night, right before the flag ceremony. The attack would be disguised as a military exercise. A general had already placed his troops to encircle the palace. The real mastermind? His name appeared clearly in Zongo's final report, and it was chilling. General Yakuba Serre, one of the country's most decorated officers. A public hero, always seen beside Traoré during official events. Alone in his office, Traoré read the file slowly. His jaw was clenched, his stare fixed. They had shared the hardships of war, slept in the same shelters, eaten from the same pot in the bush. During the uprising, Serre stood with him on the balcony. And now, he was the one trying to destroy it all. The betrayal cut deep. Zongo stood silently nearby, reading the weight in the president's eyes. But Traoré didn't falter. He stood tall and ordered, "Launch Operation Silent Night." That night, In the hidden command center, the strategic cell gathered. A detailed map of the capital was spread out on the large table. Light markers showed key points: the presidential palace, military base, national radio, airport, and the secret residence where the coup leaders met. Traoré looked around the room. His voice was composed but filled with authority. Let them think they've already won. Tomorrow night, they'll move. But we'll be ready. No leaks. No escape. The mission must be fast and quiet. The nation must wake up to peace. Zongo pointed to a spot on the outskirts. They'll be here, Sir, Deborah and the rest. If we strike at the right moment, we break the chain. The team nodded. Traoré added, bring them in alive. Don't kill. I want the people to see who betrayed them. The night before the operation, Traoré slept just 1 hour. Wearing civilian clothes, he joined the command post unnoticed. No sirens. No escort. Just him and the mission. At 11:47 p.m., the fake training maneuver began. The soldiers loyal to Sir approached the palace but found all the gates locked down. Every position was under control. The guards meant to help the coup had been replaced quietly. At 12:08 a.m., the coup leaders reached their meeting spot and fell right into the trap. Zongo led the unit. Down on your knees. Drop your weapons. Sir tried to grab his gun but was tackled. Slowly he raised his hands, face pale. He muttered to Zongo. No, said Zongo. I was your reflection. You revealed yourself. At sunrise, the city of Ouagadougou woke up peacefully. Shops opened. Children walked to school. Radios played music. But in the background, a coup had just been stopped. President Ibrahim Traoré had foiled a coup, not with brute strength, but with precise strategy. The conspirators were locked away in a safe location. No announcements. No headlines. The public didn't know yet. But Traoré knew the truth wouldn't stay hidden for long. At 7:30 a.m., wearing his military uniform, he entered the palace's press room. No ceremony. His face serious, calm. The cameras flashed. Reporters sat at attention. He spoke. Last night, our country was almost stolen. He paused. A small group of armed, trained men disguised as patriots tried to destroy all we've built. They didn't come from outside. They came from within, from faces we trusted. The room was silent. But they forgot one thing. Burkina Faso is not for sale. Not to fear. Not to money. Not to foreign interests. Some journalists had tears in their eyes. Others couldn't move. They will face justice, not out of revenge, but to protect the people. Outside, the crowd swelled. Rumors became facts. Cheers rose. You can't uproot a tree that grows in the heart of the people, Traoré concluded. I stand with the people. If I fall, it'll be with them. But I will never fall to their enemies. Photos of the president standing firm spread across social media. The world was stunned by his quiet control. Later that day, Traoré visited his loyal troops. You stood firm. You rejected darkness. Thanks to you, the light still shines. He gave each of them a symbolic pin, a black star on a red background. They tried to use your uniform to betray this nation. Today, it represents courage. But one question lingered. How did he know? The answer was even more surprising. In a private room, Zongo handed the president one final envelope. I didn't include this name in the reports. I wanted to give it directly. Was he one of them? Yes. But he came to me. They promised him a house, a salary, a new life in Europe, if he helped. He said no. He told me, I trust Traoré more than I trust Paris. The president opened the folder. Sergeant Karim Sawadogo. A simple soldier from the 3rd Regiment. No title. No decoration. But he had seen everything. Heard everything. Took notes. Recorded conversations. Passed them to Zongo, risking his life. He could have run, Zongo said. But he chose truth. Bring him to me, ordered Traoré. Karim entered, nervous. He was sweating, arms stiff. The president walked over, put a hand on his shoulder. You didn't have to do what you did. But you did it. You defended your country. Karim spoke quietly. You once said, Africa doesn't belong to the loud. It belongs to the loyal. That stayed with me. Traoré looked him in the eyes. You've done more for this nation in silence than others with big speeches. He handed him a new rank insignia. From today, you're not just a soldier. You're a protector of the people. Karim saluted with tears in his eyes. But not everyone was smiling. Foreign powers who backed the coup were embarrassed. They denied everything. Burkina Faso is imagining things, they said. But they knew. Their plan had failed, because of one young soldier, a discreet officer, and a president who wouldn't bow. The fight wasn't over. The people had been saved, this time. But how many other traps remained? That night, President Traoré made a decision: no more shadows. He would clean the system. In the following days, he summoned all senior officers and officials. One question: where were you the night our country nearly fell? Some answered with pride. Others with shame. A few remained silent. But Traoré wasn't seeking revenge. He wanted the truth. He created a new committee led by Captain Zongo, made up of teachers, lawyers, retired officers, market chiefs. People loyal not to titles but to justice. They had full power to investigate corruption and loyalty inside the military. On the streets, people watched in disbelief. Once proud officers were questioned, their accounts frozen, homes searched. New, younger officers rose. For once, merit replaced favoritism. But the boldest move came 10 days later. Traoré entered the National Defense Council. A room filled with powerful men who'd ruled from their desks for years. Some were nervous. Some angry. He stood in the center, voice strong. I almost died because some of you value power more than the people. That ends today. He pulled a document from his coat and placed it on the table. It's a full reform plan. Military salaries will be public. Promotions will go through civilian review. No foreign deals without the people's approval. Some generals stood. One tried to object. Traoré cut him off. If you don't like it, the door's open. You can go look for a job in France. But in Burkina Faso, we've had enough of being servants. One by one, the old wolves left. New lions took their place. Meanwhile, the people were watching. Each day, the radio announced that another corrupt official had been dismissed. Every week, new young leaders from villages rose into power. For once, justice wasn't just a word. It was action. But Traoré wasn't done. During a surprise visit to a military training camp, he gathered the cadets. No press. No cameras. Just him and the next generation. He told them, your weapon isn't your rifle. It's your loyalty. Africa's future belongs to men and women who don't bend when offered cash. Stay poor and honorable, and you'll die rich in respect. The cadets stood and shouted in unison. For Burkina Faso. That night, Traoré returned to the palace. He stood alone, watching the lights of the city. He had stopped a coup, unmasked traitors, rebuilt the army, and reminded the world, leadership isn't about fear. It's about courage. He wasn't chasing applause. He wasn't hungry for power. He simply did what was right. And the people, they weren't just proud. They were awake. Because now they knew, if anyone tried to sell the country again, they'd have to face the lion.